Welcome to Unstuck TV, where we interview people who have amazing stories and of being stuck in life, and they share the strategies they use to get unstuck, what their life is like now. I'm with my co-host Cheryl Green, and our guest for today is Patty Domingo.
Hey.
So Cheryl, update us. What's going on in your unstuck world?
In my unstuck world, I should have been prepared for that question. Still working to kind of market my book and get that out there, and I'm teaching storytelling now and helping people kind of share their story and their business story with their audiences.
Okay. So a little advice: when you're marketing a book, it's always helpful to tell the audience the name of the book.
I even brought it. I did, just in case. It's in here somewhere. Hold on, stand by. It is Surviving to Thriving, How to Overcome Setbacks and Rock Your Life. Thank you, Vanna. And it is available on my website, CherylGreenSpeaks.com, or on Amazon. Thank you for that shameless plug.
Very cool. Awesome. So we have with us a special guest today, Patty. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into your story. So.
Hi. Thank you for that. Thank you for allowing me to be here in the presence of such honorable and distinguished guests.
I know, we're like, wrong room, but go ahead.
Well, thank you. Anyway. Just say, yes, we are.
Alrighty.
Anyway, I guide trauma survivors so that they go from trauma to triumph.
That's a really cool title.
Where did that come from?
Where did you get a name like that?
We were hanging out this weekend, right? At a boot camp given by Darren. Sorry,
Darren.
Darren LaCroix.
I can shorten this for you. She got it from me. I gave her that title. But go ahead.
Whatever.
I know.
This guy gave it to me.
So you have a story of from tragedy to triumph.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about the tragedy part without going into too many details? Just tell us a little bit about what life was like dealing with tragedy.
Okay. Life with the tragedy. Anybody who's gone through this knows about the tragedy. When the symptoms of tragedy: grief, anger, depression. And when I say grief, anger, depression, those are just the symptoms. What happens behind the symptoms? You sleep too much, or you can't get to sleep. Depressed, sad. You don't want to eat, or you eat too much. What else? You may have flashbacks, and when I talk about flashbacks, I mean memories of that trauma. What else? That when that incident, memories of that incident happens, you get that pit in your stomach because it's tied to emotions. One of the reasons why I'm out here in Vegas is to get away from that trauma, which is on the East Coast.
So you said something interesting. You said that feeling is tied to emotions.
Correct.
Okay. And is it safe to say that you felt stuck?
Most definitely stuck.
Awesome. Because we are all about getting unstuck. And so I've actually been working on a new book about learning to live unstuck, and really specifically about the emotions that keep us stuck.
Okay.
So you can talk a little bit about those emotions, and like what I mean is that memory triggers the emotion.
Yes.
And how did that emotion hold you back?
Memory triggers emotions. Okay. When you're asking me, how does it hold you back? When you live in that moment of that memory, you're not getting out of that unstuck position because you keep reliving that memory, because you're holding on to that emotion instead of letting it go.
Right. Can you tell us some of the emotions that you were feeling?
Fear. one of them is a strong fear that it's going to happen again.
Okay.
I was speaking to someone today, and when you keep, let's say, you keep watching what's happening. Let's say Route 91, the survivors there. On TV, they keep replaying the incident, right? For any trauma survivor, watching that, whether you are part of the incident or not, how is that going to make you feel? It brings back those emotions. It re-traumatizes you. So that is bringing back that fear emotion every time.
So is it safe to say that you can't walk in confidence and in fear at the same time?
Correct. Those two feelings won't work together.
And that same situation, that same trauma, could have different emotions for different people. So, for example, that Route 91 festival, there are people that are in fear, there's people that are angry, there are people that are just really frustrated with not having resolution. There are several different emotions.
Correct.
All surrounding the same circumstance.
Yeah, one person, and it's the background. It's the way they were raised. It's how they deal with normal circumstances. The way they view life. Is that what you believe?
Yeah, I actually feel, I refer to that as the 3 E's. In all of our situations, something as simple as a bank transaction can go 100 different ways when you have 100 different people involved, because people bring the 3 E's, their education, their experience, and their emotional intelligence to a situation. And that's why, like, literally dealing with people who may have had the same experience never have the same experience.
True.
So, for example, like in my situation when I lost my daughter, my wife and I both lost the same child. We were together through the same circumstance.
Correct.
We had completely different experiences because we brought the different 3 E's to the table.
Different perspective.
Totally different perspective based on our education, our experience, and our emotional intelligence.
Well,
So
it's almost like different filters that you view the world through, and everybody's got a different filter.
Yeah.
yeah, and those are the things that create those filters. So we're coming into situations, we can all take away 3 different perspectives of what we think has been said on this show today. There's what we think we said, what we actually said, and what we meant to say.
Yeah, and
Totally different perspectives.
And sometimes I say that perspective on reality is actually their reality, because it's their truth. So you can't change that person's truth because that's the way they see it.
Right.
Actually, you can.
Dun, dun, dun.
I have a feeling I'm in for it here. Go ahead.
You have to, work on that mindset and changing that mind. And it's always, for example, can you have positive and negative at the same time?
Of course.
In the mind, which one is gonna, if you push positive in there, you can push the negative out of your mind. So all the training that we do, right, is working towards putting our minds towards positivity, right? Isn't it?
Right.
So if you're thinking, for example, I was in one incident was a car accident. I was in pain, right? And if I was just focusing on the pain and being out of work and loss of money, that's what I would have been focusing on. But instead of focusing on that, it was the same time that my dad was sick with lung cancer. I was thinking, let me use this time as time to spend with my dad and take care of him and use that instead.
Okay. So we're going to find out more about pushing this negativity out in just a few moments.